All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Eagle Eye podcast. It's episode 24, and we're here to celebrate. We're here to say we did it. Mexico has won against Germany, a prediction that I will say only I said it. But I think these two gentlemen that are going to be joining me today will say that they said it in their hearts. They just didn't want to say it out loud, just in case. So, as always, let me introduce my co-host, as always, Mr. Dylan. Dylan, how are we?
A big yeehaw from Texas. Got the cowboy hat going today, man. Got a little celebration going on. Got to celebrate that win somehow.
All right, we're all in gear, we're all ready, and returning to the podcast from last episode is Mr. Brian. Brian, how are we?
I'm never been happier and nervous at the same time.
That is right, and we're gonna be talking about why we should be nervous. We'll also be talking about why it is that we are super, super happy. Make sure you guys do let us know in the live chat. How are you guys celebrating this Mexico win? It's been what now? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 days since the victory, but it feels just oh so sweet, like if it was just 2 hours ago. So, gentlemen, we have a packed show. We're gonna break down what happened against Germany, everything that went right, the couple things that did go wrong, and exactly what we need to do and what needs to be fixed. And then, of course, we'll start talking about the game against South Korea, exactly what Mexico needs to do, and how this game could potentially be even tougher than the Germany game. I know it sounds weird. I know it sounds crazy because it is South Korea, but it could just be that. And then, of course, we'll end the show with a little bit of an update for our Águilas del América. We'll let you guys know what's going on down there in Cancun. And that'll pretty much be the show. But we will have plenty to talk about, gentlemen. Are you guys ready?
Definitely.
Yes, sir.
All right, with full gear on, with full tributes to Ochoa, who had an amazing game. Let's talk about that Germany win. It wasn't a 4-0 the way I predicted it. I wish it was. But I think we'll talk about exactly why we think that could have almost came true. But let's talk specifics here. We walk out of that stadium with a 1-0 victory, with a 3-goal advantage, with 3 points. And I guess just ecstatic. Brian, how did you take it after the final whistle blew?
Didn't feel real, but then at the same time, it was like all the good things that we said that Mexico has going for them. It's almost like it happened like how we thought it would if it was going to happen. So it felt like it was a dream. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And to see non-Mexican outlets like, can you believe this? Like, Mexico's caused an earthquake celebrating and they were dominating. And it's like, what? Is this real? Like, they're talking about Mexico? And
I know, right?
they're talking about, celebrating and, like, drinking and having parties with, some special ladies, which I think was an overblown rumor. But it's all gone now. That's gone because they finally did what they felt they were able to do.
That's right, and they were able to do so. And like our good friend Leva has mentioned in the group chat, he says, "Told you guys last week we were gonna defend and counter," and that is exactly what the team did. We'll go into the specifics, but Dylan, let me know your reactions because I know you were Snapchatting it, and the moment that final whistle blew, it went all mayhem.
Yeah, just a big win. Full of emotion, actually. This is the second time, Mexico's opening game, me and my dad got celebrated with my dad. We went out to Hooters and actually saw this game. So, kind of like undefeated streak going right now for us. Last time, against Cameroon in the 2014 World Cup, Mexico won. And then you see Mexico win again, too. So, it's really great to celebrate that win, full of emotion. I started to tear up a little bit, just because it was, the win, especially against the number one team in the world. It was just surreal. Like, I couldn't believe it. The only bad thing is that we were at Hooters, so I had to listen to the Fox broadcast.
Oh,
I didn't get to listen to that Telemundo broadcast until later, whenever I came back home and rewatched it in the Telemundo broadcast.
There you
go, my man. You going to Hooters? Make sure you don't paparazzis be catching you at Hooters, because then they're gonna put us, like, Eagle Eye co-hosts, being seen with females at Hooters.
He got a win-win. You got Hooters and a W.
That's true.
I can't complain for him.
the waitress kept coming back and back. Do you want to order some food? And I was just so nervous, and my stomach
you
was so
can't eat
upset
like
the
that.
whole game. I was just like, I can't eat right now. I just can't.
Like, just come back
Nah.
later. Come back later.
I need
Either
a
I'm gonna be
beer.
eating my pain away, or I'm gonna be eating to enjoy the victory.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. But she just kept coming, and finally, just after that, I got me some wings. I had to chow down some wings.
All right, nice. Of course, happy Father's Day to all the dads that we did not say Happy Father's Day to in the last episode. We apologize for that. Hopefully, that Mexico gift it was more than enough. What everyone was asking, I think we all would have thought it would be the best gift if they came out with a draw,
Yeah.
and they came out with a win, which is phenomenal. So let's talk about that win. Let's talk about what happened on the pitch, what went right, the little things that kind of went wrong. And gotta take one of my gloves off so I can read the lineup for you guys. It's let's see. All right, so lineup was as follows. We had Guillermo Ochoa in goal. On the right, we had Carlos Salcedo. In center back, we had Hugo Ayala. We had Hector Moreno. We had on the left back Gallardo. We had in the midfield it was Hector Herrera and Andres Guardado, whilst we had Irving Lozano on one wing. It looked like Miguel Ayun on the right wing, and then Carlos Vela in that cam position. Then, of course, up top, we had Mr. Chicharito himself. Now, when you see this lineup come out, and it was kind of rumored to be this lineup just with Tecatito on the right-hand side instead of Layun, what was your initial reactions? And I'll throw it to you, Brian. What was your thought when these lineups came out?
I wasn't disappointed with it. I mean, there's no glaring problems, but it usually when I'm looking at Layun that far up, I'm like, they must know something that we don't. So, and the way it played out, he wanted to speed up top for the counter, with Layun and in Irving. But I mean, you could play Tecatito up there too because he can roll too. But whatever the reason why he put that lineup out, it worked. So I mean, I have no problems with it.
That's true. I didn't have either. You, Dylan, what was your thought?
Just a little bit nervous for the defense. I thought everything else looked good, and we'll get into it probably a little bit as the show goes on. But you did see that shakiness from the defense at times, and that's something I kind of expected to when I first saw the lineup as well. So but other than that, I thought it was pretty solid. Obviously from the rumored lineups we saw, that's something that we saw, and we actually did see it too as well. Obviously the fact that Miguel Ayun was in there instead of Corona.
I think that was the most interesting part of the lineup, but I think in the end it might have just paid off because he played the full 90 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Layun played the full 90 minutes, which I think was a bit surprising. And to be honest, Miguel Layun, if he was a little bit, more trained to be as a winger in certain positions at times, I think we could have maybe found ourselves with a little bit more goals than we actually left with. So the lineups came out. I think we all kind of felt this kind of aura that yes, this looks like it's gonna be a possibility. This looks like we can get a result because that's at the end of the day that's what we wanted, a result. And I think the way we started off was really, really good. I think we kind of took the game a little bit to Germany. We weren't afraid to go toe to toe with them, and we honestly we wanted the ball. We didn't want them to have it at the beginning. I think we wanted to dictate as much as possible, and I think the players did their best, and I think they achieved the game plan, which was I think in the first 15 minutes, try to put them under pressure and try to be the team that has the most possession. I don't know if you agree with that or not.
No, I mean, you really see it too. I mean, obviously, toward the end of the game, you see it soaking in that pressure too as well. But this team really, whenever we got the ball, kept that possession. There's something that you saw going towards the counter too as well. Which whenever we had set pieces and corners, you see like two to three guys staying up top outside the box, just to get that counter going. And that's what really benefited us in the end too.
Yeah, Brian, what was your take of the first 15 minutes?
Oh, it was very good. I mean, even the first 50 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
they got one of my things I said in the previous one. I said start feeding the wings. I mean, thought Corona was going to play, but Lozano being that one guy, he got involved quickly, And that was good because Germany's like, okay, hold on a second, that kid could cause problems, but they didn't really learn their lesson totally.
Nope.
And the one thing I wanted to go back about Layun, why I think he was in that position, is because he does play defense. I know that is one of his weak points, but he had to mark some of the midfield as they're playing the counter, and there were several times he got the ball free, and I think that goes to his defensive mindset, and that's why it paid dividends. But he did, but he held his own. So, but yeah, that's for the first 15 minutes. There were several counters that really could have paid off big time before later on the first goal.
Yeah, before we score the goal, which I believe is around the 30th minute, correct?
35th.
Yeah,
35th.
35th minute of the match. Before then, I think we had maybe 2-3 opportunities. I'm not saying they were the best or the most clear chances, but I mean, I remember Hector Moreno's header, that Neuer's tie-ups. I think someone who had a very, very good game was Carlos Vela.
Yeah, I would agree with that. He did really well with the ball at his feet. He had a couple times where he led the attack. But again, we just lacked a little bit of finishing on everyone's part. But I think he's going to be a pivotal piece coming forward.
I think so too, and I think the fact that he kind of was in that kind of free roam position, he was able to just kind of move around the pitch and kind of be his own boss in that sense. And really, whenever he had the ball, you saw him take on a couple of Germans here and there. They even had to resort to just kind of fouling him at some point because he was just running circles around them.
Yeah, I think Hummels had a pretty hard foul on him, and Vela was going to go right past him if he didn't stop him.
Exactly. So I mean, I think he was very important to our game plan, and I think he was very important to how the team played within those first 30 minutes. And then I think the goal. We'll talk a little bit about this and what happens, but I think we did well, and I think we put Germany under pressure. I don't really remember Germany having any super clear cut chance, right before we score a goal. I don't know if you gentlemen can remember.
No, not before we scored. I don't.
The closest they got was a Timo Werner got behind the back line, which kind of made you hold your breath because that's what it looked like in the Confed Cup. But his shot went wide. It wasn't really that close to being a goal.
Yeah.
But that's what? We kept seeing that. We kept seeing Timo Werner get into these, get behind the backs of Moreno and Ayala, which was a very, very concerning.
Yes.
So it's because if it would have happened once, you said, well, it happened once. But the thing is, it happened so many times that it was worrisome. But I think at the end of the day, that the team handled it well. I think they kind of. I'm not saying they let him kind of win them in that aspect, but I think they knew how to manage it. They were and to be honest, we defended like I haven't seen before. I mean, we threw our bodies in front of the ball, just laid everything out. Said, you know what, if it hits me, it hits me, but nothing's gonna get past us.
Right.
So, I think that was great, and I think we controlled the game at that point, and then we go on and we score a beautiful counter-attacking goal that puts us 1-0 ahead. And I'm going to be honest with you. I thought at the moment Chucky Lozano cut in, I thought that was the end of that. I was like, great, there's probably going to be a defender or something's going to happen. But the way he shot it and the way it snuck into Neuer's first post, I couldn't contain myself. I screamed as loud as I could.
Yeah, I think everybody did.
Yeah, no doubt, dude. I mean, I was at Hooters. There was maybe 3 Mexican fans there too as well, and they were just jumping up and down screaming.
I mean, Brian, run it down for us because I think you explained to me perfectly exactly how this counterattack goal works.
Yeah, so basically, Mexico was comfortable with what was going on, and then Herrera came in behind one of the German players. I'm forgetting who it was. Popped the ball loose, went to Moreno. Moreno found Cheech. Cheech found Guardado. Guardado back to Cheech. Led the attack, dumped it off over to Lozano, cut, shot, near post goal. And I mean, that's like FIFA stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Generally we see if Mexico, you would think Mexico scored on Germany. You're like, oh, maybe a penalty kick or a corner that popped
Yeah,
out.
some set piece, something.
Yeah, but no, that's the way I want to see them score. That's what we wanted to see in friendlies, which I mean now means nothing, but was like, okay, we had a build up, we got that 1-2 pass, or like we changed the side of the field, switched the ball over, got a header in, something like that. But that play was just picturesque. Like you can't write that one better.
No, you can't. You can't. And it was like you said, it seemed that it was the perfect Hollywood script at that point.
Right.
You know, you're running down the line, you score that, and that beautiful counterattacking goal. But that wasn't our first counterattack, to be honest. I think that
No.
was that
That was
was
like the third. I think that was
yeah,
the third one.
that was the third. That was the one that we actually finished in this
Yeah.
in a sense. And
If you go back and look at it too, I mean, if you look at it from certain angles, you see that Neuer barely gets fingertips on it, but obviously just not enough to stop it from going in.
Well, and he shot it. I mean, with
that was a
fire.
rocket of a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah. So I mean, but still, I mean, like if you can go back on it, that just is the fact that Neuer got fingertips on it. Still, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think Neuer had a pretty decent game.
Okay, he did.
yeah, I think so too.
And the call for Germany was whether or not he was going to be just 100% Neuer ready. But I think he was, and I think that's good because it tested us. I think when we were looking at this Germany side, we knew this Germany side had a lot of youth. They had a lot of also experience and talent. But I think the one thing you looked at was the back line, and the fact that the back line was, I think, the weakest point for them because they were much older, which meant they were much slower. And I think to Brian's credit, I think that's why he said, use and abuse those wings because we have the fast players and we can definitely, in a one-on-one opportunity, I think we can definitely outpace them.
Right.
I mean, but you look at it too, and you see how much the fullbacks are just pushing up the field too as well. And it really didn't seem like they came back a lot too to defend.
Yeah, it's almost as if their game plan was like, hey, even if it's not working, keep doing it, and eventually it will. And it never did. So if you're going to have all those guys push forward, Mexico's like, hey, if I've got 9 yards of space, like, thank you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, I'm going to use it.
And we used it very, very well.
Absolutely.
Anything you want to add on to this, Dylan?
No, I mean that's just something obviously to really point out is how much their fullbacks were really pushing up, and you didn't really often see them come back as much as you think they would to defend that too. And just the fact that the midfield was able to hold down Toni Kroos and people could say Mesut Ozil too as well. Really it's something. At a lot of points of the game, it seemed like they were just playing out from Jermaine Boateng or Matt Hummels.
That's true. And then I think if we touch upon a little bit of that wingback situation for Germany on our end, when you see Carlos Salcedo there, he's not going to be the wingback that kind of goes forward and pushes forward, kind of like what a Gallardo would do. But I don't even think Gallardo even pushed up as forward as we'd expect him to.
No, not as much.
I don't know. It wasn't that much as you would think it would.
And I think if you read into that, I think that shows one that it was clear that each player had a kind of instruction on you can do this much, but you need to be focused on this much. So tactically speaking, they were very disciplined, and I think that all of the players were.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was wonderful. Let's just talk a little bit about Osorio's game plan for this. I think I think it worked out perfectly, and this is something that we've criticized Juan Carlos Osorio so much, but I mean sometimes maybe overthinks it. But I think in this case, I think the fact that he did, and it looks like he prepared this game for like the longest time, and it actually paid off. What are your guys' take on this?
Well, there's that secret weapon, that secret tactic I told y'all about last week.
And we were talking about that, and I think, do you think we actually saw that secret weapon or secret tactic? I think me and Brian both said that maybe we didn't even need to pull it out.
Well, I remember Tom Marshall. He tweeted out, I think at the press conference, that Osorio said that they were planning their game plan like that for 6 months. They've been doing that for 6 months behind closed doors, where none of the press is seeing it, and obviously they're not seeing it in none of the friendlies either. So they've just been doing what they did behind closed doors, the tactics that they pulled out against Germany.
That is amazing. Do you think that Brian? How do you take this whole secret weapon thing?
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't look like there was anything a major secret other than the fact that they had the game plan down and they mirrored the 4-2-3-1 and they clamped down on Cruz and Khedira, and Germany was like, no, it's fine, we'll just push forward, and I don't know, just everything kind of fell into place. I mean, if there's some secret weapon, maybe there could definitely be still in the glove compartment still.
Hopefully it is. Hopefully we didn't have to use it, because I think that speaks a lot about us if we didn't have to use this so-called secret weapon.
Yeah, exactly.
So we score that goal. Everyone's ecstatic. The players, the coaches, the fans, we're all buzzing. And then I think because of our excitement, I think we get a little bit carried away, and you see Germany kind of go a little bit more on the front foot. And because of that, I think we get a little bit reckless, and we force a foul where maybe I think if we played a little bit smarter, it wouldn't happen. And then there goes that free kick from Toni Kroos. And of course, because of that, our boy Ochoa comes up pretty big, And I think that was really the first really big test that he had. He had a couple of different shots, but they kind of all went to him, and he did very well to secure the ball. He never gave a rebound, which I think was wonderful.
That's the major key, because they're shooting that ball in 70 miles an hour. It's like it doesn't matter. You can pull any type of move on accident, and it bounces right to a forward. Exactly. You know what I mean?
The friction was good.
Yes.
So I think that was amazing. I thought at first, it hit the post, and it wasn't until the commentator said no, he got a touch on it, and then they play the reback, and you see clearly if it wasn't for his touch, that was an automatic goal.
Right.
5 saves in the first half.
5 saves, and that speaks a lot on what he did. And granted, yes, they weren't all like crazy saves, like they were all upper 90 saves or anything like that. But the important part about this is you see that he made these saves. One, he didn't give no rebounds. I think we just went over that. Very important. 2, his positioning. His positioning was very good. In order for him to make those saves was because he was positioned very, very well. And 3, I think he just commanded his area and his defense very well, that even when Germany had these shots, that they were kind of not in the best comfortable position as to where they were going to pressure him that much. So I think overall, I think Ochoa's just showcased how confident he is in goal, and he just kind of oozes this sense of I got you guys' back for whatever reason.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was I got the result wrong, but that was one of my predictions, was Ochoa was going to show up just like Brazil and have some big, flair saving moments, and he definitely did. And I've never been more comfortable with it with a goalkeeper.
Yeah, and I mean, you said it, Brian. I think Dylan too. You guys said it, that because I even asked you who's going to be the most important player on the pitch for us, and you both said Ochoa, and he was, and I'm so thankful he's Mexican.
Yeah. Now to a bigger club, that'd be great.
Yeah. Napoli, supposedly. I don't know. Yeah. I've heard that story like 6 times in my whole life.
I know. And there's a lot of rumors going on, which we will address later on about the South Korea game. So
yes,
we'll knock that out.
Yeah, we will, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But I think the final whistle blows. I mean, the first half whistle blows, and you go into the half thinking, okay, we have this lead. Now we kind of need to keep going at it. We can't stop, because my worry was after the first 45 minutes, I think with that 1-0 advantage, was we're going to come out and we're just going to be a little bit – we weren't going to be playing to the same rhythm that we were in the first 45 minutes. I thought if we relax too much, if we give Germany a little bit too much of the ball, a little bit too much of the space, they're definitely going to kill us. This is Germany. They're the defending champions. They know that they can't lose their first game. It's going to be embarrassing for them. And I knew they wouldn't come out with everything, which I think they did. But I think the game plan that Osorio had for the second half worked pretty well. It wasn't perfect, but it worked pretty well because I think things could have been different. Things could have, we could have done things differently because at certain points, I think we were just kind of hoofing the ball and playing kickball, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of worked that sometimes because we got some counterattack going because of that. So, um, let's talk a little bit about the second half. How did you come into the second half knowing that you have that 1-0 advantage, Dylan?
I feel like coming obviously to the start of the game, I feel like Germany felt some momentum and they got it going. Obviously, still looking dangerous, still getting the ball into the areas they wanted to, but just really couldn't find that really rhythm going to finish off their shots either too. I mean, like we said, they had some chances, obviously not getting there. Either they missed or Ochoa came up big and made some saves too. But really, like you said too, we came out with the exact same game plan. Obviously, didn't execute it to perfection, but it still paid off pretty well.
You, Brian, how did you take it coming into this 45 as the second 45 minutes?
Well, I was expecting more changes from Germany, and they really didn't do anything to free up Cruz. And basically, Mexico just had to keep doing what you had to do. You'll find your chances, you'll get your shots, and they did. They have a lot of shots, just as Germany did. But
yeah,
when they give you that, I mean, maybe the secret weapon was Osorio almost memorizing what Lowe does, depending on a tactical change, and he never did it. So it's like, okay, just hey guys, follow suit. You know what I mean?
I thought you were gonna say that the secret weapon was Osorio himself, like changing and coming onto the pitch or something.
You're right.
That would have been something. But yeah, I think the fact that because let's be honest, I think a little bit of this we kind of there was times where we got lucky. Let's be honest.
Oh, there was a few scary moments, and I would say the two scariest ones when the ball went off of Salcedo's foot and Julian Brandt's one-timer, because that was,
oh my word, that was a rocket of a shot. If that went in,
really...
I don't think I could have been mad.
Well, no, he still get a point, which is good, but that would definitely break my heart. You know what I mean?
But it was a rocket of a shot. Like, oh my god, when he took it first time, I was like, wow. And then you obviously see that it hits the post. You're like, no way. So I think that had to be the scariest moment because when they replayed it again, my heart was still pounding.
And then at the end, didn't Neuer come up for a corner kick?
Yes.
And I was like, please pull a FIFA and pop the ball out and just leave a shot from 70 yards.
Yes. I was like, Neuer cannot Munoz us. He cannot.
No.
I think Munoz, since he was with the Fox, he's like, no, let me get down there. I'll mark him.
I know.
Oh my word. Yeah, we had scary moments. Let's not lie. It is what it is. We had those scary moments. And we got a little bit lucky here and there, which is fine. I think, no matter what happens, sometimes a little bit of luck either goes your way or against you. But that's the way the sport works sometimes.
But we had to say, but then again, you have to say the same for Germany because I'm rewatching the game right now, and Vela had a chance to curl the ball in, and 8 times out of 10 with LAFC he hits that one. You know what I mean? Yeah, so there was moments where Mexico could have just piled it on.
I was so frustrated that we couldn't finish our chances because that 4-0 prediction could have came true, and everyone would have looked at me differently.
Yeah.
That
would have been a wild score too, but I'll take any result like that. 1-0, I'll take it.
So that brings me on to my next point, which is the substitutions. How did you gentlemen take these substitutions? I think the only one that made sense was when Edson Alvarez came in for me at least. But if I'm not mistaken, the first one was Carlos Vela came out and Edson Alvarez came in, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
At that point, it made sense. Like, okay, he's gonna switch to that 4-3-3.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's fine. Edson's gonna play in that center defensive mid. We know he can do it. This is a big moment for him. I hope he takes it with both hands by it, and he did. I think he had a fantastic game. I think
he really did.
He didn't even look like he was playing his first World Cup.
No.
He really stepped up with which as a Medicanista too made me proud.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And I don't know if I said it off air last time or on air, but same with the Belgium game. I mean, before the injury, he was balling. We're like, well, this kid's legit.
Yeah.
So he did it again.
He did. He played out of his skin. He threw himself at each ball. And there's one thing that me and Dylan have criticized him, and a lot of people have criticized him, that he slides in a little bit too much sometimes, which makes me a little bit nervous.
I can see that.
But this time he didn't. I think he did it when it needed to be, and he outplayed. And I really hope that he gets some minutes against South Korea and Sweden also, because I think he's a very important player. Because as well as he can defend, I think going forward, I think he can pass the ball really good. You know,
yeah,
I think
I'd agree with that.
I think he can pick out a decent pass. And he's just, I don't know. You look at this kid and you don't think he's what is he, 20?
20.
Yeah, he's 20.
You don't look at him like he's like this 20-year-old kid. He looks like he has experience. He's matured, of course, because of the times he's been playing with America. And what, 2 years into making his debut, or is it 3? I can't remember.
It was the end of 20. It was at the December 26th. What was it? 2016 he came in.
So shoot.
We're talking 2 years then. 2 years from making his debut in professional soccer.
And the very first time I ever saw him play, he was in Phoenix with the U21s.
Yeah.
And they brought like a U18 actually, and he was one of the best players playing against a USL team. I'm like, this kid's pretty good. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Let's keep an eye on him. And then he blew up like 6 months later with America, and I'm like, whoa, this kid's like legit.
And he is, and regardless of what, you know, the whole controversy with his girlfriend and the things he said about playing with different teams, that doesn't matter at this point.
No.
He showcased that he's a really, really talented player. And the only thing that makes me sad is that he might leave America after a great World Cup.
Yeah, it's sad, but you know what? Yeah,
but I'm all for it.
He deserves it. He deserves it too.
Yeah. I am all for it. I'm all for it.
And one thing I noticed about him, the little things, like especially when a shot's coming, he keeps his hands behind him, so there's no, there's no chance of, inadvertent handball. The way he marks and jockeys down a player, like, it's smart. He doesn't bite in too much. We have faults. Everyone has faults, but at least in this game, he played it just how he needed to.
Exactly. I mean, if you see this guy play, just focus the camera on him. You can see that he's a very smart player. Obviously, he's not has a whole bunch of experience. Granted, he will make a mistake here and there, but for the most part, he's a well-rounded player, and I think we're safe in that department.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
and
go.
And benefiting too is whenever Osorio took him to the Confeds Cup too. Because he was obviously around the same group of players that are playing now too in the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you can only imagine that did wonders for the group,
Mm-hmm.
We can only imagine Mayorga kind of missing out, but he would have made it if Brian was the coach.
If I was manager, I don't have a secret weapon, so maybe it's good I wasn't.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
Wow. So that was the first substitution, which I think was great, and I think it worked wonders for us. And then he proved himself. I think I started questioning after the second one, and it's Lozano to come out for Raul Jimenez. At this point, I was like, okay, let's see where this goes. I think if you're going to play two strikers, what's going to go on? But he kept him on the wing. He kept Jimenez on the wing, which we know he's done before. This is not a surprise for us. I just thought that, what is he trying to do with bringing in Jimenez? And then you kind of realize that he was kind of there to because it goes back to what I was saying. At some point, it looks like we were just playing kickball. I think he was there to try to win those aerial battles and start that counterattack going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Just a little too quiet from him too as well. To me, doesn't really make an impact on the game. But at the end of the day, I think what Osorio wanted,
or was that the fact that at that point we weren't playing to feed the strikers. We were just kind of throwing the ball up there and said, here you go. If you can start a counter, go for it.
Yeah, I mean that's the only thing, But at the end of the day too, it kind of is what it is. I feel like he didn't I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of weird in a sense. I just didn't feel like he made that huge of an impact.
Which sucks because no, go ahead, Brian.
I was gonna say I think he came off too. Now, obviously, you can throw in a Tecatito or an Aquino. I think Irving Lozano came off because I think he was gassed. And when I rewatched this, he's defensively helping out a ton, which I think makes Gallardo even look better because Gallardo just needs all you need to do is mark up. If Lozano's making 30-yard runs, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's why he's gassed out.
Yeah, can you imagine?
PSV.
He doesn't have to do that on the regular, but
Right.
I think that just shows the commitment from each player that they had to get this result.
And Raul did have one disappointing counter.
Yes,
he did. He had a wide open pass, and it just bounced off a defender and screwed it up. And I was like, dang, dude, you could have ended that right there.
And that was the worrisome part because we had all these counterattacks, but we weren't finishing. Our final passing was horrible. Our decision making in the final third wasn't right. At some point, I was like, it's like I'm watching America.
Yeah.
It's like it felt like that. It felt like we were watching the 2018 America from the Clausura. It was like, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
But I think, hopefully for Jimenez's sakes and he gets another look at with South Korea, and he actually, takes these opportunities a little bit more. And we'll see. I think the game plan is going to be much different, so it might suit him if he does maybe I don't know, start or potentially come off the bench. We'll have to wait and see. But I think for the most part, the Raul Jimenez one wasn't as crazy. Now, this one was a little bit worrisome for me. Rafa Marquez coming in, and we're taking out Andres Guardado.
Yeah.
I'm baffled at this point. I mean, why? What kind of sense did you make of this when you're seeing the substitution being made, Brian?
All I can say is I think Osorio just wanted somebody. I mean, Guardado can, but another voice on the pitch to organize everybody. And granted, we know Rafa's not going 45 minutes, so 18 minutes he played. He can get through with that, and I don't. It's not my number one sub to have him in, but if there's something else, another reason why he went in, I think it's because of organization, and he had a couple good plays out there, so I can't rip on him totally.
That's true. I'm not gonna say he had the worst game. I was just a little bit worried because I mean those Germans have some pretty good legs and pretty fast. So I was worried that.
But at the same time, Alvarez, Salcedo, and Ayala were still playing, and those guys had been covering ground all day, and they were marking all day. So it's kind of like, well, okay, one more defensive-minded player might not be the worst, but it's not the first option you usually put in.
That's true. And I think once he makes that substitution, I think everyone knows, okay, he's trying to close out this game.
Yeah.
But I think you said there's still 18 minutes left?
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, no, there's still 18 minutes left. There's like, I'm worried, like, and no disrespect to Rafa, who's done wonders for the Mexican national team, but I don't know. I felt the fact that we're losing Guardado and I think he played kind of position for position because I think Edson still stayed a little bit deeper than Rafa.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I think there's one player that we're not mentioning here that I think had a phenomenal game, and everyone agrees that had a phenomenal game. I think what Hector Herrera displayed on the pitch was, I mean,
masterful.
Yes.
Yeah. If there was a word for it there. I mean, just amazing that a player that maybe has gotten so much backlash within a couple of weeks because of what happened in down in Mexico, for him to play the way he played, ridiculous.
Yeah, especially with rumors of people saying he's not even going to play the World Cup, and
exactly.
They just shut everybody up. Just shut up and just whatever. Just watch what happens on the field.
Yeah, that's the important part right here. Is what happens on the pitch, and he demonstrated that he can potentially be world class with what he was doing, the way he was moving, passing, running. I don't know what they fed him, but he was a machine the whole game. He's an
engine.
Yeah. Yeah, and his stock just rose. I mean, I believe it's a 40 million release clause on this contract too, and so I'm pretty sure the stock rising is going to be pretty close to that already too.
Yeah.
Unbelievable what Acha did out there. And it was just great. It was great because I think if he can carry himself like that, I mean, you can only imagine what he can do for us in the next couple games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no doubt.
But I gotta be careful though with that yellow.
Yes,
That's
yes,
true. That's the only thing that I think if you were to criticize his game, I think that was the only thing that you can kind of
They
say.
were two boneheaded yellows. They weren't even for dirty plays.
I know.
Moreno took forever to take
Exactly,
the
exactly.
kick, and then Herrera kicked the ball backwards. So it's like
I'm wasting. I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Moreno one did get me mad.
Yeah.
I know the first one was in the first half too. Moreno's yellow card was in the first half.
Which is scary. It's scary.
No,
Yeah.
it was scary because you think, okay, you still have all these Germans that are gonna be going attacking. What if what if the referee makes a mistake and calls a foul and gives you a yellow? Now you run that risk of leaving as a man down. And then the worst part about it too, next game, you don't know what's gonna happen. What if you get a yellow? Now you're leaving us without anyone against Sweden, or the other way around. We get to Sweden, you get a yellow, can't play the next game. It's just you have to be smarter about these situations.
I agree with you. And just one last comment about Rafa here. Yeah, I'm replaying this. I think I know exactly why he put him for Guardado, and I think it's for the passing too, because the ball was popping out, and that's where Mexico was winning. The ball was right in that midfield when a header would come out because they were resulting on crossing, and Rafa's known for his passing.
Yes, he is.
So I think that's kind of along with the organization part. Vocally, I think that's another reason why he was out there.
Yeah, I could see that too, because I think he could have orchestrated a counterattack real easily with the way he can precisely pick out a pass.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was the only worry. I know our friend Label here was also mentioning a little bit about that whenever the market substitution came on, he was a little bit nervous. I think as many of us were, if we weren't already nervous enough about the result. But we hold on, and I mean, gotta give credit when credit's due, and I think we deserve that. I don't think anyone can take that away from us.
No, they played so hard. I mean, I would be gassed after 10 minutes against the number one team in the world, with all the nerves, and they just played it. And one last comment, good on the ref too, on some of these, challenges. There was one time when Gomez went down. And Salcedo yelled at him. He's like, I didn't even effing touch you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Refs bite on those things. You know what I mean? The guy, for the most part, played a pretty decent game. He let the game flow. He didn't chop it up or anything. Like today's Croatia-Argentina match. That was a nightmare.
And it was a little nightmare. Literally a nightmare for Argentina when they ended up losing 3-0. That's for another podcast, not ours.
Yes.
So I mean, final whistle blows. After so much, illusion and talk about Mexico and Germany and how we got the crappiest group. That's the Grupo de Muerte. Germany's gonna steamroll over Mexico after Brian's favorite commentator had mentioned that we were nothing but a tiny little soccer nation.
They don't even play a good competition.
Man, I would have paid anything to see his face right after the final whistle.
Look at these friendlies. They beat one team. Like, come on, man. What are you talking about?
Oh man, like to see Scotland there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, what a result! I mean, we're still buzzing about it. Everyone's been talking about it they're still talking about it right now. I mean, you saw as soon as the final whistle blew, streets got filled with Mexican fans. I mean, you can only imagine what was going down there in Russia. You can only imagine what was going down there in Mexico. I mean, over here in the United States, I mean, you saw over there in Texas, people were celebrating. Over here in Los Angeles, and everywhere, it was just a party.
Right. I mean, mind-blowing. And even to see non-Mexicans celebrating the goal and the final whistle and partying with everybody, it's just this is a beautiful game. You know what I mean?
And to talk about those non-Mexican fans, did you guys see that Club America was watching the game
Yes, I
down
did.
in
I did
Cancun?
see
Yeah.
that.
And when the goal is scored, everyone, of course, everyone just starts going crazy. But the one play that stood out to me was Ibargüen just
Yeah.
jumped up and went crazy, started hugging everybody, and I was like, I think you're officially a Mexican.
Yeah. I mean, hey, he's Mexican football's helping him, and he's just giving his respect.
I know. So I just hope that somehow makes him a better player in for the next upcoming season. I think he's gonna be very important, but that's for a later podcast. I mean, I was like, pinch me, I'm dreaming. I mean, I looked over to my dad. We both were just kind of like, it happened. We couldn't believe it. It was just, it was phenomenal. And then, of course, I predicted a 4-0, and everyone, I'm pretty sure that heard this was like, nah, this guy's crazy. I went to work the next day after we recorded this podcast, talked to my supervisor and talked to my boss, and we were just talking about the game. And I told them Mexico's gonna go out there, they're gonna win. They're gonna win 4-0. They looked at me, they started laughing. They thought I was the craziest person in the world. They started making fun of me. They said, if for whatever reason Mexico does end up winning 4-0, we are gonna make a shrine of you at the office. So I'm, as you guys know, I'm a bit bummed out because can you imagine going to work every day and there's a shrine of you for predicting a soccer result? I mean, that could help motivate me get up out of bed.
Well, yeah. I mean, you should at least have a framed picture, like for getting at least a win.
I do though, however, have a text message from my supervisor. As soon as the game is over, he texts me and he says, "You were right. I'm so glad I was wrong."
Yep.
And I
A
will
lot
take
of people.
that.
A lot of people said that.
Yep. A lot of people did not believe in this Mexican side. A lot of people thought Germany's gonna steamroll us.
Yeah. You had the confidence going in this game the way I had confidence back in South Africa playing France. For
Yes.
some
Oh
reason,
my God, I remember that game.
I was like, oh, maybe it was me being blissful or whatever, but I was like, I think Mexico's gonna win this. And people
I
were like,
know.
oh, get the heck out of here. France is gonna steamroll.
Exactly.
So
And then
glad we were right.
Oh my gosh. And then it was just amazing. And then all these memes, all these great stuff started coming out. Our friend here, Chicken Biscuit, says, "Have you guys seen the goal with the Titanic music over it?"
Yeah.
It's the best. I think Dylan, you haven't seen it because I see
No,
your
I
response.
have
But
not seen that.
you need to go see this. This is freaking hilariously amazing. Like, you're laughing, but you're just like, yes, that's how it feels like. Oh man, it was just amazing. It's amazing. You still go back and you still think about everything that you lived throughout those 90 minutes, and se te hincha la piel, you still get those goosebumps because it's like, it's unbelievable that I was able to witness such a great outcome, such a great game too. Because if you're a neutral, this game was an amazing game to watch too.
Oh yeah, neutrals were loving it. To be honest, I think it was Ferdinand and Fabregas were just like, yeah, that was a great game. Obviously, Ferdinand has ties with Chicharito. He's like, couldn't be happier. What they executed everything perfectly. So even non-Mexicans were enjoying it.
Yeah, because I mean, if you focus on this from a tactical perspective, what Mexico did, phenomenal, phenomenal. If you're just there for the thrills, it was a very thrilling game.
Yes.
And a lot of people said it was a bit like David and Goliath. Hey, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say it's that. I would say that
No.
we're a little bit apart with them. But I mean, if the neutrals want to see it that way, I guess the story came out true.
I mean, I wouldn't say David and Goliath because I mean, let's be honest. I mean, outside of our Scottish friend at ESPN FC, Mexico does have a footballing history. Yes, they do underachieve in World Cups, but they have shown up. They have won hardware in non-World Cup settings. Like, they do deserve credit. It's just the way from the Confederations Cup to now, it didn't feel like they were that team.
Nope. But I mean,
and then but when players are talking confidently, they showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw that. It was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. But I mean, nothing more we can say that, but bask in the glory that was that victory. And I'm pretty sure whoever has a DVR, burned copy of it, send it over our way. You know, we'll remaster it. We'll make it 4K. We'll do everything that we have to do so that it will always live in Mexican soccer history because it will. And I think you mentioned it too, Brian. I think it's the first time we ever get a victory over the best team, quote unquote, qualified by FIFA.
Yeah, to my not, I mean, they've definitely beat number ones, but in a World Cup, I think this is the first one.
Amazing.
I think so.
That's beautiful.
But
Beautiful.
the celebrations have to be short-lived because
That's true. And we're about to talk about that.
Yeah.
We're about to talk about that because we got two very important games coming up, and the most important, our second most important one is coming up this Saturday. And I guess let's jump right into it. We got South Korea, gentlemen, a game where we would have imagined, oh, this is the easy game. This is the game where we're supposed to score 4 or 5 goals. This is gonna be a walk at the park, but I believe, and I think many of us believe that is not going to be the case. This single-handedly could be the toughest game yet for Mexico, and we'll talk
mentally.
yes, mentally, because the one thing that happens when you win against Germany in a World Cup is you're high on confidence. You're on cloud nine. You're on cloud nine. Everything is amazing, and there comes the chance that you could be overconfident. You could completely be overconfident. And you look at South Korea and you say, I just beat Germany. We got South Korea down over here. You know, the players could easily be, this is going to be cake. Just going to walk right through. We don't even have to put 100% effort into it. And we'll walk away with a victory. And if we do that, and if we're overconfident in that sense, then South Korea could easily come and just sneak away with a result.
Absolutely. Let's just go back 1 year. New Zealand.
Yes.
I mean, yes, there were injuries, and then Osorio, our criticism of him, making I think eight changes.
Ridiculous.
They punched us in the mouth, and it's like, okay, well now what? Well, you have to have a heroic goal from Raul, and then in a heroic play from Aquino to Peralta to get out of that. And the last thing Mexico needs is to be on cloud nine for more than 2 days. Be on cloud nine for 2 days, get over it, because let's look at the other games. Look at Colombia.
Yeah.
They beat the living hell out of Japan 4 years ago. Japan walks away with 2-1 result. Mexico's in the same boat right now. You beat Germany, the number one team in the world. The last thing you need is to feel like, oh, this is done on paper. But no, it's not, because you can screw up.
You can. Yeah. You could easily screw this up. And I think that's what worries me the most is, like, I was so happy on Sunday. I was like, yes, we beat Germany. Yes. And then I thought about it. Now we have South Korea. Then I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
There's a possibility that this could work against us. Which I hope not. But the players look like they have the right mindset. They know that this was a great win. Now we just got to go out and keep proving ourselves. And It starts off this Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I was reading that there could be a possibility of at least two changes in the squad. Which
That's fine by me.
Doesn't seem a lot. It just seems actually kind of adequate. How do you guys take upon that? So you guys just said it. You guys are fine. Who do you think could be those two players that will be, kind of on the bench?
I think it could be Raul, and then possibly, depending on what Osorio wants to do, either put Layun as a left back or take out Gallardo, and probably play Tecatito.
Okay.
So you'd have Lozano, Raul, Tecatito, and you've got two guys who are good with the ball at their feet, feeding in a player who can score with his head with either foot. Yeah, I mean, it kind of suits them.
Okay, so let me ask you this: give me your guys' predicted lineup and formation. Dylan, I'll throw it to you.
I read reports that Osorio was with Jorge Ramos, saying that Ochoa, Moreno, Hector Herrera, Chicharito, Layun, Chucky, and Guardado are the basis of the team. So I feel like somewhere along the line, these players are going to be in the starting 11 for certain. But I feel like it's going to be Ochoa, Salcedo, Moreno, Ayala, Layun, Guardado, H. Oh man, kind of tough to see who put in there. Uh, I really don't think it'd be Vela again. I feel like we won't go back to that what we did against Germany.
Well, I think there's whispers of playing Fabian.
Yeah, I would like to see Fabian. I'd go with Fabian, possibly coming on too as well, and then I'd like to see Tecatito, Chicharito, and then Lozano back to a 4-3-3.
Okay, Brian.
I think we're gonna see similar. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think it's gonna be similar lineup. But if that's true that he wants to use Chicharito as a base player, then I think he's gonna sacrifice Gallardo, put Layun as the left back, and then the attacking mids can be Fabian. Right winger is gonna be Tecatito.
Okay. I could see like you not even making this this game.
True. Yeah.
Because I think he likes Gallardo a lot, and I think he wants to keep playing him in that left back spot. I think he has a lot of confidence in him.
It could be. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it.
But I mean,
I will say this though. I forgot to mention this. There was an interview, and I believe he said the reason why he used so many formations, basically outside of qualifying, because I think he was pretty standard with using the best of the best in the qualifying, but like the Confederations Cup and the Copa America, to not have a significant lineup was so that when the other teams review us, they're like, there's no real set formation or 11. That's his mindset behind it. So I'm hoping he sticks to maybe 8 solidified players outside of maybe injury or yellow card. Hoping that doesn't happen, but that's one thing about that too.
Could you imagine if that was his intention for 4 years? Just randomly put just lineups everywhere, and just so it comes down to 3 games where people don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, that's what I always thought too. Like I don't know, for some reason, what was it, like he's already had 50 games with Mexico about so, and so we've seen 50 different lineups, 50 different starting 11s, not one of them ever matching up. And like just for some odd reason, I always just felt like come World Cup, it's just gonna be bam. Like we're not gonna see any rotations. We're just gonna see the same basis from game 1 all the way until the end.
Right.
That is like me and Dylan conspiracy theory kind of status.
Wait, it's Mexican football, man.
That's true. That's full of conspiracy theories, to be honest. Yes. But wow, I mean, hats off to him if he did,
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple games he didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Imagine he's like, yeah, we had to lose 7-0 against Chile so that Germany didn't know what we were up to.
Right.
I mean, maybe if you said it on Sunday, some people would have bought it.
Possibly.
Yeah, I did.
But in terms of this game, this is one thing that bothers me though about Mexico and its fans is the whole Cloud9 thing, and it's like don't go the other way then. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Don't celebrate too much because this isn't the over. This is the one game. Stage, you know what I mean? I mean, let's look at the other games. Iran could have equalized against Spain.
Yeah. Morocco could have done the same.
Yeah. Senegal beats Poland. That wasn't predicted. So it's like, like I said, 2 days. Just take it 2 days and then get your head out of the the nirvana, because you got to take this seriously, even if you're favored by a goal or 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dylan.
Oh yeah, that's what a lot of players said too, and a lot of players are already, I feel like got their celebration out the way and already looking forward to the next game too as well. Not taking it lightly either, and training hard. a lot of coming out too from the psychologist that went with them too. A lot of credit was given to him for having their mindset set to beat Germany too as well. And I feel like the psychologist got them back on track too, to realizing they got another game, and anything could happen.
Everyone at work, I kid you not, everyone at work makes fun of me because I told them that Mexico took a psychologist.
Well,
Everyone, even after even after my supervisor messaged me like, "You were right, I was wrong," and I told him, "See, you had," I told him, "You have to believe in this team." He's like, "You're right," and he joking around said that psychologist works magic. But as much as they joke around it, it's true. This guy has done wonders with the players because he's gotten that mindset completely different, and then
right.
I think that's great. And as much as they kid around, which I think it's funny. I was like, all right, you guys want to joke about it, it's cool, but we're seeing the results.
It's true.
Yeah. The results is something that we need to advance.
And that's true. That's true. Back to the point that you were making, Brian. You're right. We can't, especially as the fans, we can't just continue to be on cloud nine. We're celebrating like we won the World Cup.
Yeah,
and I get
Which is
it.
fine. Like I said, fine for 2
Yeah.
days.
Yeah, I get it, and still people are over the moon about it, and they should be. But let's also remember that we need to keep our feet grounded and know that there's 2 games left, 2 very, very important games. Sweden, who beat South Korea, now sit with 3 points as well. So we don't know exactly what's going to happen against Germany. This is, I think my coworker said it best, is the most topsy-turvy World Cup there's ever been. I think there's been just so many upsets that you need to realize that you can only count on yourself at this point. There's no reason why we should fall into kind of an Argentina spot that we were just talking about them, where we're now needing to rely on another team's results. We can't do that. We need we need to hold our own ground. And if we get that victory against South Korea, then guess what? We're in the driver's seat. We own our own fate. And then after that, just take it game by game. And it's gonna be important. The first 5 minutes will say a lot about this team come Saturday.
Well, I think they're in the driver's seat right now. It's just not going to be as much of a driver's seat because nobody has Mexico winning this first game. So, and here's the thing. Back to the mindset, and hopefully the psychologist and the whatever meditations and however they're going through with this, winning all the games says a lot, especially when you go into the next round, because the next round team is not going to have won all their games. So that is already an advantage of confidence, plus a little bit of a threat towards the other team. It's like, okay, they beat Germany, South Korea, and then Sweden. It's like, that's not a pushover.
It's not. We'll have to wait to see who we face, but that's gonna be that's for a later time. But right now, let's get that job done against South Korea. Which
just like we said earlier, keep it simple. Keep it simple. Don't overblow it. Don't, you know what I mean? Just play smart and get the 3 points. Because let's be honest. There's enough talent here to get it done.
Yeah,
it really is.
But I think this is gonna be such a tough game because I think Korea is gonna come out to play because they need points.
They do, which
they need at least a draw.
Mexico. I think it helps Mexico.
It does.
I think if they were on 3 points, and I think they would be okay doing what Mexico did to Germany. So if the game's opened up, I think Mexico can find those spaces and exploit them. Regardless of the fact that Korea might sit back eventually, but or starting off, but they can't get away with 1 point.
Yeah, they can't.
They need to start winning.
Yeah.
So just leads me to my next question. What do you guys think the tactics is going to be for this? Do you think we're going to see a Mexico side that's going to be very offensive? Or are we going to sit back a little bit? Or are we going to let Korea kind of have the ball? Are they going to let us have the ball? What are you guys thinking coming into this game? What do you think the tactics are going to be for the 11 that Juan Carlos Osorio fields out? Anyone?
I feel like, to start off this game, like you said, the first 5 to 10 minutes are going to be important. I feel like some possession will help too along the way, and filling out this career team too as well. And then we'll go from there. I feel like at the start, it's going to be a little balance, between attacking and being conservative with the ball. But I feel like once they find that space and really execute the game plan that they have set, I feel like they're going to find some goals within that space too as well.
Brian, what do you think the game plan is?
I mean, it's not the worst idea to let South Korea have a little bit of possession to open things up a bit, because I think we're just much more deadly on our attacking side. But I think eventually Mexico is going to just control the pace of the game a lot with possession. I think this is going to be similar to maybe a CONCACAF battle.
Yeah,
that's what I was. That's what I was thinking.
I think this could be like. I'm hoping it goes the way the Costa Rica game went in the Azteca. I think that's kind of how I feel entering this game.
Okay. So basically what we're saying is Korea's no pushover and we're not going to steamroll them.
No.
And I think
unless they score early.
That's what I was going at. I think the best case scenario is if we get an early goal. That goes to our favor.
Mm-hmm.
But what about if we concede right away? What happens to do? I think that if we concede at first and it's early, I think it's now it's time to see how well these players' mindsets are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How they can pull themselves out of this.
I think you're gonna have a repeat of the New Zealand game. It's gonna have to come off of a couple miracles. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I think we might be short on miracles after the Germany game.
True. And we got that secret weapon.
That's true. Imagine having been like, this is our secret weapon. We didn't have to use it against Germany, but we need to use it against South Korea.
True.
Yeah, that's gonna be something else.
No, but I have confidence in this team and in these players, and I don't know because I'm not there, but you get a sense that they're not on cloud nine. They're working hard, and they know the next objective, and after that, they know the next one. And I think they keep going like this. They keep playing the way they've been playing, and if we can see them kind of dominate the game, then it should definitely fill us with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, I think so too.
So, gentlemen, favorite part of the show? Give me your guys' prediction.
I'll go 2-0 Mexico.
Okay.
I'm torn. I think it's either going to be a measly 1-0, maybe off of an early goal again, and then we just can't finish. It's going to be like that Scotland game, or Mexico opens the floodgates in the first 15, and it's a 4-1. So I think it's one of those two.
Okay. I am going with another 4-0 prediction. Mexico takes it 4-0. They're going to go. They're going to get 4 goals. It's going to be Andres Guardado. It's going to be Chicharito. It's going to be Chucky Lozano. And then Hector Herrera is going to finish it off with a thunder strike. Okay?
I like it.
You guys heard it here first. As always, we always got Mexico winning here by 4 goals because we know that they can. And they will. They have to.
Yes.
So,
a win is most definitely still needed.
If they get a big win, like a 4-0 or 4-1, and then Germany wins 1-0, we're looking pretty good.
We are, because at that point, we all we need is a draw against Sweden, and we qualify as first place.
Yep. Yes, sir.
That's ridiculous.
Or we win and Sweden obviously wins, beating Germany, then we're still in.
Yeah. Then it's the death game to see who gets first.
Oh man, can you imagine? Oh,
hey, it's the World Cup. We're seeing crazy stuff left and right.
That's true.
Yeah, we can definitely see it.
Can you imagine the reigning champions once again not making it out of the group stage?
Hey.
Wow.
It's a beautiful game. That's why we play it.
That's why we play it. And that is why Mexico will win 4-0 against South Korea on Saturday, which is going to be at 8 a.m. right here, Pacific time. That is 10 a.m. Central time and 11 o'clock Eastern time. So pretty early as always. Make sure you guys get your chilaquiles going. I know I had some, which is probably bad for my diet, but that's, again, for another podcast. So I mean, we're confident, right, gentlemen? We're confident in the team getting the result, which is, a victory. Anything less than that, I think would be considered a failure.
Yeah, then the Germany game, it's only good for the moment. You know what I mean? You need
Exactly.
to roll with that momentum.
Exactly. We can't live off just one game.
Yeah.
I think it's important that we keep going and keep striving for more. And I think the team's got this. I think it's important too that we continue to get these clean sheets.
Hmm.
I think because it adds confidence, to the back line, and that's
And
something that we
it pads Ochoa's resume.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's actually the only reason why I was bringing this up.
Keep it going.
I want him to be named the goalkeeper of the tournament. For that, you need to get the most clean sheets. So I think right now the only one that has two is Croatia's goalkeeper.
Yeah, and then Denmark's guy he had like a crazy streak and he just lost his.
Exactly. So I mean, right now there's a lot of goalkeepers on one, but if you look at it, the only one that has two right now is the Croatia one. If Ochoa is able to get another one, he puts himself in a very good position. So
Yes. As long as he wins, if it's 0-0, that doesn't mean much.
exactly. But no, I'm confident in the team, and hopefully we can get that going, because I think it's important that we do walk away with a victory, a clean sheet, and overall that just boosts morale for the whole team. So anything else you guys want to add on to this preview for the South Korea game?
Who's going to be your man of the match or the main player to look for in this next one?
All right, let's see. My curls are saying I'm thinking it's gonna be Hector Herrera again.
Good selection. Good selection. I'm going to go out of the ordinary. If he starts, which he may possibly Vela.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
I'm gonna
If he doesn't play, I'm going to say Lozano.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to say Guardado this game.
Good pick.
So,
All really good picks. I think.
you can't go wrong with none of the wrong picks.
All right, so now we know what the game plan is. Close them down. Make sure Son doesn't get any opportunities, and walk away with 4 goals, so that way we can party hard, just like we did against Germany. So that brings it to the end. We're going to wrap this show up in a little bit. We're going to talk just briefly about our Águilas del América and what they've been doing down there in Cancun. The schedule has been released. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
Yes, I saw it. I've seen it already.
Do you have it there with you?
Let me pull it up real quick. I don't have it.
I just want you to pull up when the three big games, which is América, Cruz Azul, and Pumas. I know the Cruz Azul one is on October 27th. Which is like the jornada, I think it's like 15 or something like that. But since the schedule came out, we're opening against Necaxa at their home stadium. So Brian, how do you feel about that?
Not great, not awful. It could be a more difficult match, but if they get a result on the road, I think it's a good way to get building confidence off of what happened in the previous season.
This kind of gives me kind of the essence of when we went to go play against Querétaro in the beginning of the Clausura. And I think if we can get a result like the way we did, and I think it helps with mainly with confidence, really, at that point.
It's on Sunday too.
Yeah, which is good because that means we get to cover it. So
that's true.
We'll be there. You got the schedule up or not yet?
Yeah. Against Pumas, it's Saturday, the 25th of August, and against Chivas, it is Sunday, the 30th of September.
Sunday, the 30th of September. Okay, and then of course, like we said, Cruz Azul is on the 27th. That is a Saturday, a home game. Even though we're technically gonna be the visitor side, it's gonna be against them in the Estadio Azteca. That should be interesting experience.
So. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's still gonna be packed with America fans.
No, it's always packed because of us. Wherever we go.
Yeah.
What are the reasons why they sell out?
Well, speaking of which, they're playing Manchester United here in Phoenix. I'm gonna try to cover that game, so hopefully a lot of America fans show up.
I'm trying to go down there. I will see about that, but It's
Should be a good one.
it lands on a weekday, correct?
Thursday, unfortunately. So I just it's not
I
a
have to
Friday,
see.
unfortunately.
I have to see. I have some vacation days coming my way, so I might have to use them. Cause it's
Bring
hey,
a fan. Bring a fan. It's gonna be a little hot.
I'm bringing one of those fans that blow out water.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
please.
like ah. Oh, I can imagine how hot it's gonna be. But we'll see if we can get the Eagle Eye podcast down there as well. Should be interesting. I mean, it's America, you know, and it's also I guess Manchester United, but it's America, people.
Yeah.
It's America, but I know they start their road trip versus their U.S. tour here soon too, down in Texas, and then they come to Fresno, and they're gonna be all over the place. So that should be interesting. And Dylan, I believe you tweeted out on the account there could be a potential signing announced in a couple of days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Billy Escobar, saying that Herrera said that a signing is close to being done, and that the announcement's in a couple of days. So kind of waiting to see on that. Ready for that news. See who it is.
But it's confirmed it's gonna be a player, correct?
Yes, number 9.
Okay. Oh, a number 9.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's interesting. Because I don't want them to be like, yeah, they're gonna make an announcement of a signing, and then they freaking signed another deal with Bimbo, and then you're just like, go. Well, this is a waste of time.
No, it's a player. Yeah.
Number 9. Oh, should be interesting to see. I mean, gentlemen, if you just to take a random guess, what do you think's coming?
Whew, who knows? Maybe De Jong.
Oh, okay.
I know we haven't.
Somebody for Linez to feed and pad those stats.
Finally.
I know it's like we hear the Zhang news. You know that it's getting there, but then you don't hear nothing else after that.
Yeah.
Could be for good reasons.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. You know, kind of going off a little note, going back to the schedule. You know, you look at the day. Today is the 21st. You know, the Apertura starts in like literally almost a month.
Oh my God! Yes, true. I even noticed that. Liga MX has to do so much better. Like they don't give. I mean, the Super Copa MX crap, whatever they got going on, is the same day as the World Cup final. I mean,
yeah,
they got to give it a little bit more time.
Yeah.
Well, at least there will be the time difference. At least
that's the only good thing.
Yeah, really is.
But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Well,
dang Liga MX.
If I'm throwing a name out, I'm Carlos Baca.
Not bad. I'd take that.
He's been linked. I mean, I'll take that.
What's the one guy's name again that from Villarreal?
Rodrigo Martinez, I want to say.
Roger Martinez.
There you go, Roger Martinez.
Yeah. Okay.
That's your pick.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take Roger Martinez.
To be honest, I hope that it's either mine or Brian's. Well, that pretty much wraps it up. We'll talk more America come the start of the season, which I guess is gonna be a month away. Wow, we're not gonna have that much vacation time, Dylan.
No, back at it already.
Oh well, looks like we're gonna have to cancel that trip to Tahiti. Okay, well, that pretty much wraps it up here. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Thanks to all of you who came down and chatted with us. Chicken Biscuit, Leva, Tim Woods, everyone. We appreciate that. Thank you again, Brian, for hopping on to the podcast.
No problem. It was a lot of fun, especially after a win.
Yeah, that W against Germany. It's wonderful to be able to just ramble about it.
Yes.
Well, so we'll definitely have you on in a couple of months' time. You know, once the league starts, and once we need your expertise when it comes down to the Las Águilas del América.
No problem. We'll be here.
Alrighty, Dylan. As always, thank you so much for coming on and being my co-host.
No problem, man. You know I always enjoy this.
I know I do too. Well, with that said, I am gonna take these gloves off because damn, my hands are sweaty. This wig is freaking hot, and these glasses, to be honest, I could not see for pretty much the whole podcast. So, hope you guys have enjoyed it. It's been the Eagle Eye Podcast episode 24. Thank you to everyone again, and we'll see you guys soon. Make sure you guys do follow us on Twitter at Eagle iPod. Brian, let them know again where they can find you.
At Twitter, Brian RMW.
That's right. We'll leave you guys a link with it as well. And make sure you guys do catch us on SoundCloud and iTunes as well. We'll see you guys very, very soon. Onward and upwards for La Selección Mexicana. And we got a big game coming Saturday. And as always, guys, vamos Mexico.